Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We're going to go through the stock market charts, kind of point out what's going on. A couple interesting things, not a whole lot, but I want to point out, a few things that are really interesting that I think are important for trade ideas that I've covered in the last couple weeks. Start out here with the triple Qs. Oh, before I do, give me a thumbs up. Just hit that right now. I do appreciate that. Let's get right into it. So, start out with the triple Qs. Yesterday, we got an impulsive breakdown or sell-off, basically, into the, there was some news, a news headline that came out around the taxes. And so, what I did is I saw the breakdown on the 1 minute chart happening, and it looked pretty impulsive. So I did take a short on that. I shorted it down. It was profitable for me. I held on to that short overnight. This morning, woke up, it kind of gapped up and it was running higher. I closed that short out and, for a small profit, not much, but basically closed it out. So again, the trade ideas that I point out here are swing trade ideas. That's primarily what I am as a swing trader. I look for trends and for longer term positions that are trending in a direction. And I try to swing those trades, not so much of a day trader. So, by holding that position, I was looking for a little bit more. When I saw that it was, we weren't breaking down, there was no continuation in the triple Qs, I just covered that. And because we don't have any real sell signals or anything to actually sell off of or short off of in the market. Just the impulsive selling that showed up yesterday, I was thinking there might be some continuation, but there just isn't as of right now. So Qs, we do have this trend line right here, though. That was broke yesterday. I could probably actually adjust it. I think my line got off a little bit. I think we're right about... Yeah, we're going to say it's right about there. So yesterday we broke, but today they've recovered that. So I'm going to call that just a whipsaw. This is an hourly chart. No breakdown, no sell signal. That's what I'm going to go off of for right now on the triple Qs. On the SPY, moving on. So SPY, we broke this minor trend line right here the other day. Back tested, broke down, coming back in for another back test. What I'm really looking for is, I need to see the Qs break down. And I don't trade the SPY for the most part. I usually trade, I'll trade IWM or the Qs when I find a trending direction. But, it's important to watch the SPY breakdown. The SPY also, if you see here, we've tested, I'm not exactly sure where this trend line right here comes from. I'm going to get rid of that one. We've tested this area right there a couple times. So you can see we held that as support there, held it as support there, held it there, and held it there. So yesterday with the drop, went right to support and it held. The buyer stepped in. So I'd like to see a break of that to be the next sell signal. Some sort of impulsive breakdown of that level. It's about 410, we'll call it. An impulsive hourly close below that would be the next sell signal. Until then, the market just, continuing to kind of grind higher. IWM, all right, so IWM again is right back at that resistance level of 225. This is where it was at yesterday. We got, an impulsive sell down. Today they stepped back, the buyer stepped back in and pushed it back up to 225. I'm not really interested in, the only thing I'm really interested in on this one is a couple things. One, because on the daily chart, you'll see here it has big negative divergence. That's just, it's still there and still intact. I'm looking for a short on this. However, I'm looking for a short either at a new divergent high. So if this thing wants to break higher and run up and make a new high, I'm looking to short up there. And that would be if negative divergence was still intact. Or I'm looking for a sell signal or a break of this trend line right here in red. That comes off your March 2020 lows. And you can see we held support here, held support here, held support here, and here. So plenty of reactions. That would be the best sell signal. If you break that trend, get an impulsive breakdown, then, that would be the next sell signal for a trend trade or a swing trade, to the downside. Because that negative divergence is there, I'm not really looking to go long. I don't go long typically when I have negative divergence on the charts. I'll look really more for a short. You just have to be patient and wait for the opportunity, because I think it'll be an easier trade. You could go long, and I mean, right now you wouldn't want to go long because we're right at resistance, right? 225 is resistance. If it was to break higher, then you could go long, set a stop, slightly below, and trade this up to potentially up to this line up here, up around 240 or so. But the thing is, you have negative divergence, so it's kind of going against the momentum, and I'd prefer to go with the momentum. So I'm really looking for a short on this one, and ideally a break of this lower trend line, and an impulsive break as well. You want to see impulsive selling to give you a confirmed sell signal. Okay, I want to start out on these stock ideas. I want to look at Snap. All right, so Snap reported earnings after the bell yesterday, and it gapped up. I think it was up about 6% or so today when it opened. But you can see the reaction, the reaction of the traders is to sell, sell on the earnings. And so they sold this thing down right at the open, pretty much just been selling all day. That's bearish price action. You just recognize it for what it is. If you have, if you have positive earnings and they gap up and they come in and just sell it down, understand that's bearish price action. So this is just another another checkbox to build my bearish case on this stock that we're going to, head much lower. And you can see here on the daily chart that I still think we're heading down to this $30 gap area, especially with the price action today. I mean, we're not breaking any technical support lines today, but it's just the price action of today where they have good news, they gap it up, and instead of the buyers, being enthusiastic and buying it up, the sellers were there just to smash it back down. So again, that's just bearish price action. So I think it's very likely or highly probable we head down to this 48.30 area. Probably get a reaction there, and then eventually break that and head down to the, heading down to, about $30. So that trade idea still looks good, and just another checkbox today on this price action. Gold, just touch base on this because I've been, all over these gold miners the last couple weeks. And gold is, getting rejected so far at this 1790, but it's not very impulsive. You can see here, if we look at the hourly, we're basically, we ran up, we chopped above it, we hit it again, we're not impulsively getting rejected. Yeah, there's a couple, those look big, but if you go to the daily, it's just not really a big impulsive rejection. So something to notice, I think it's important to kind of pay attention how stocks trade around key levels. Now, we are obviously still below 1790. You need to see a break above that, ideally an impulsive breakout above 1790. If we get that, that in my mind is really going to confirm that we are putting in a new, we're basically continuing the uptrend in gold. So here's gold. There's your uptrend coming off this level, 2018, and we're making higher highs and higher lows. So again, this break of 1790, impulsive breakout. I think that confirms we're going to continue the uptrend over time. And this is just you just let it do its thing. And the miners continue to look bullish. So I'm just looking for that breakout. Now we could obviously come down to support, which is right about 1750. That's support. I'm actually looking to add to my mining positions. If we run down to 1750, I'll look at key levels on some of these miners and probably add to some of these. One that I'm really looking at maybe adding is this Agnico Eagle. You can see here on this downtrend line here on the daily chart, we have a nice clean downtrend line. We ran right up to it recently. Again, I have it circled. Here's your divergent low and kind of the buy zone, but basically we ran right up to that downtrend line, and we're, struggling to break through it because it is resistance. There's some sellers there that are selling on that. Now, if we get a pullback, I think we pull back to the top of this buy zone, which is about 62.30 or so. You can see here that was former support back here. It's a really key level. It goes back a while, but and then it was resistance from below. So I could see us pulling back to that 62 area. I'm looking to add there to the position, and then from there bounce off that support, and then eventually break out of this downtrend line. So there's kind of how I'm looking to play it. If it gets down there, if it just breaks higher and you get the breakout, then obviously that's another buy signal as well. But looking to add a little bit more to this one. Here's Lennar. I've talked about this one for a while. And it's just, we're just letting it kind of play out. But you can see bearish rising wedge right here. There's your bearish rising wedge. Breakdown, back test. That was I have it circled because that's an objective area to short. That's where I got short. And then we chop sideways. We finally break. And so resistance right now you can see is about 102. We tagged it here, rejected. We're kind of just treading water, but below resistance. So, we'll probably, we could run up and hit it again, but until you see a technical break back above it with that nice solid hourly close, that should hold as resistance and then we'll continue lower. So next level of support that I see is right there at 95. And I think it's very likely we're going to, head down to 95 from where we're at now. That's going to be a drop of about 5% or so. So we're looking to hit that next level of support. So BABA, someone asked me about BABA. It seems like they're trading it as well. So I'm long BABA. Here's what I like about it, just to kind of cover this one. You've got this nice clean uptrend line coming off 2015, and you can see lots of tags of that level. Now, it's kind of a range. We could be, it could be in this area of support. We're in an area of support, all right? So they could chop it around a little bit. You can see last time we were here, it was chopping all over the place. But this is support. So what I'm going to do is, or what I've done is I've gone long at support with, a stop kind of below. So, we get an impulsive breakdown, a daily close down, if I start to see hourly breakdown candles that are closing below this trend line support, I'll just stop out, and that's the key is, get positioned at or near support if you're going to go long. And if it breaks, close your trade for a small loss. If it holds, we're going to ride this all the way up to, kind of the top of this range. I see it right up here, about 267. And risk reward, that's a really good risk reward ratio. I teach the risk reward in my course. So take the course if you haven't already. The link is in the description below. It's not free. It's 99 bucks. But again, it's going to teach you a lot of valuable skill sets. I think you'll easily make your money back once you learn these skill sets. And the risk reward, so let's say we break down and give it, I'd probably give it below these lows right here, but we could say we drop down to get an hourly close at 219, we'll call it. All right, that's a 5% potential loss, roughly. That's kind of from where we're at. I actually got long the other day, but so it wouldn't be that big. But anyways, and then to the upside, that's a gain of 15%. All right, so 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio, that's good. As long as you get positioned at or near key levels with a favorable risk-reward ratio, and then manage your trade appropriately, where you cut your losers quickly, stop out with small losses, and let your winners run to the profit targets, you'll make money over time, and that's kind of the name of the game. So again, 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio, I like it. I'm long this one. We'll look at some of these commodities again. Oh, and then I'm kind of looking at this. One of the subscribers have talked about this Winnebago back in the day. So I'm kind of eyeballing this one. I've had this one up on my charts. But I want to look at there's no trade there yet, but I'll point that out if I see something. I want to talk about the commodities. So coffee up 2% today. I actually added quite a bit to my position the other day. I talked about that. But the point that I'm really trying to make about commodities, they're clearly in an uptrend. Joe, which is coffee, was kind of lagging behind the last couple days. You can see here, well, today we're breaking out. So that's a gap up and a breakout. You still have the highs to kind of contend with up here. They're sitting at about 40.66 really. So you want to see a break above that. You get a break above that, then to me it looks like we're going to start making our way into an uptrend, continuing the uptrend, because we've got higher lows, higher high, higher lows. We need to see that higher high. The other thing, like wheat broke out the other day. So here's my trend line on wheat. Got to just extend that out right there. Clear breakout and holding that breakout. So again, commodities, ag commodities are doing well. Gold is a commodity. It's doing well. The commodity trade, I think, is just probably one of the strongest trends and one of the strongest trades that are on right now. And, I think it's probably just getting started. I mean, you see wheat wheat's been in a bear market for a long time. We're just starting to break out. So to me, this looks like the start of a new bull market in wheat. You look at corn, same deal. You know, corn's, look at that big bear flag or bull flag right there. Flagpole, there's your flag breakout. So that one's probably close to its projected target. We probably need to, you know, I wouldn't want to be going long corn right here. I'd look for some sort of a pullback. And so Joe hasn't quite done that, so I like Joe. Wood, someone asked me, the reason I want to talk about commodities, someone asked me about lumber, and I've been eyeballing these lumber futures. You know, my line keeps moving. I don't know why, but basically I see a trend line right about there. Lumber's just been on a tear straight up. I think it's up like 400% or something. So we're looking for a sell signal or a breakdown. I just don't see it yet. There's nothing to short against in lumber. And some of the ETFs that you can use if you don't have the futures. I don't trade futures, so you can use wood or cut. I just don't see a sell signal in these things yet. So things to watch. You know, well, here's your March 2020 lows. Yeah, I mean, you know, we could have broken down. It's not impulsive. Maybe that was your breakdown, and maybe doing a back test. You know, I need to see a breakdown in the lumber futures before I get interested in this cut one and wood. And these ETFs, they actually are compiled of a bunch of lumber companies like Weyerhaeuser and wood kind of product companies. So yeah, that's really what I see. I just don't see a clean sell signal yet in these. So we're just going to watch them. And with how strong commodities have been, you know, I definitely don't want to short commodities until I see solid sell signals. Okay, let's look at Bitcoin because I think there's probably some trades to short Bitcoin proxies. Again, here's your daily chart on the Bitcoin futures, BTC. You can see negative divergence right there. I've talked about that. And this has been building, and there's your trend line. That, you know, this looks like a valid trend line to me. Actually, we want to move it down just slightly, right to there, to give it the kind of benefit of the doubt. And here's our daily chart. So we're starting to kind of break down. Let's see what happens. Again, we got a reaction, you know, right here. We've got a reaction there, and then we're just, you know, starting to break. So we need to see that, you know, that daily close below. But if we get that, I think it's likely that we're going to see more selling in Bitcoin. You can see first level of support right here about 44,500. Next level of support looks to be right around 31,015. And then we have a gap right here with another level of support at 24,875. So those are three levels to watch if there's going to be continuation. And one of the ways that I like to trade Bitcoin is with Riot blockchain. You can also use like MicroStrategies, or, you know, there's a couple others, but this is Overstock, I think, is one. So here's Riot kind of moving, you know, basically you've got support right there at about 34.60. And if I look at the hourly, you can see that's where we held support before. We just hit it. They kind of opened right at it this morning. So we bounced off of it. So what I'd be looking for the next sell signal is a break below that 34.60. You get the sell signal down, then I think we're likely heading down to the next level of support, which I see is about 29.35. And yeah, that's kind of it. So right now, you know, we could obviously bounce up to do a back test of this trend line up around 47, or we could break down. But just want to point it out for the levels to look at in case we get some sort of a position. And that's really all I got for this video. I don't see a whole lot else going on. It's Friday. So I think a lot of the price actions probably happen for the week, so we'll probably just drift into the close. Anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. I'll probably do a live session tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern time, and I'll catch you guys then. Later.